Hello friends, this is the Cryptonian taking a look at Bitcoin. We're getting close to the FOMC meeting and I wanted to take a look at what the price action is telling us. Now you can see here we did have a breakout on the first resistance line, the first diagonal resistance line, but the second resistance line is being tested right now. We did have a bearish engulfing candle here when we were close to that line, and then now we actually tested that line, and we're having another bearish engulfing candle. So this is telling me that the traders, the participants, the buyers, the bulls, are very aware that this is a significant resistance line, significant area of resistance. Now this red line, let's move this up a little bit and open it up. This red line here that I have, this vertical red line, this is the FOMC meeting. So we did run right up to that secondary resistance line just ahead of the FOMC meeting. And so what I'm expecting is if there's positive news at the FOMC meeting, which is going to be, today's Tuesday, it's going to be tomorrow at 2:30, I think, around that time in the afternoon, Powell will begin to speak. That's about 24 hours from now. So because we're having this red bearish engulfing candle, if we close at this level, if there's no change, if we close below that previous open of the previous green candle, then most likely we're going to have a pullback. We're going to be moving lower. So we can see that the selling is intensifying here, and the 200 moving average is probably where we would come back down to, which is not far away. I mean, we're talking just a small, very small percentage point of pullback here. So 26,681 is where the 200 moving average currently is, and I believe that the price is probably going to want to try to hold that ahead of the FOMC meeting, and then if we do have positive news, probably will break through that resistance level, right? So that being said, I think we're probably just going to see some sideways momentum here, sideways consolidation or movement here. Like I said, we have one impulse, two impulse. We'll probably come back down, and then tomorrow have the next impulse going into the FOMC meeting. Now, that being said, we need to remember that this is just really a higher low. When we take a look at where this this impulse pushed up to, you can see that it's just a little bit lower than our previous high. Now this is showing us that Bitcoin is gaining strength here, right? Because the distance between the previous the breakdown and then these two peaks, this looks pretty good. We're just going sideways so far. So, and it's very close to the previous high. So this is telling me that it's gaining momentum, and that we could have a possible higher low. That's really what I'm looking for, right? And I've said this in previous video, where if we have a positive FOMC meeting, we're probably going to break through this resistance line. But if it's kind of neutral, right? If the market doesn't have a clear direction, we could have some kind of a lower high here and test this point of control. Point of control is coming in at 26,041. This is where the majority of the transactions have taken place between buyers and sellers, and so there's a volume node here, and we could come back and test that, and then possibly make a higher low and then move higher and then have a breakout at that time. So we'll just have to wait and see um, how everything plays out. But this rally here, it's a nice little rally, but again, it's within the entire structure, which is pretty much a downtrend, right? Like I said, we're having a higher low here. So what I'm looking for, I would be more optimistic, and what's more realistic is to have some kind of a pullback here, and then make another move higher into this resistance line and try to break through it at a lower level. That might be a little bit more doable here. So that being said, we need to just wait for the FOMC meeting and see where we're going to end up at. RSI is 59, 50. That's pretty strong. We're getting up into this, getting close to that 60 level. 60 is really where it starts to take off. And then EMA bullish, EMA trend is bullish, and the DMA trend is bullish. And of course, the DMA trend is an early signal, and that tells us when we're getting ready to go into a larger EMA trend, along with these two, the B1 and B2 signals, right? So this is a B2 signal rally, and we're in expansion, currently still in expansion, so this move is still underway. When we take a look at the Cryptonian volatility mod, which I love, by the way, that's why I created it. This is showing us that when the background is highlighted light blue, this is telling us that we are still in an expansive move. However, that expansive move could be coming to an end because we have, like I said before, we have that, let me go ahead and move this up like so. We have that bearish engulfing candle developing here, right? So that is pretty much about it. We're just waiting for the FOMC meeting tomorrow. We do have to hold above, regardless of the outcome of the FOMC meeting, we need to hold above that 26,048, 26,050 area. If not, we're going to lose the momentum, we're going to lose the control, and then the bears will take control and probably will be pushing below 25, right? So there is no reversal yet on this move, on this expansive move. So, but I do expect a reversal to take place here shortly over the next, I don't know, 12 hours, something like that. Actually, probably the next candle within the next few hours. So that being said, we're above the daily pivot. Daily pivot is 26,848, and we're above the S1, S2, and S3. We can see that over here in this area here. And then volatility is at 4 right now, which is pretty low, right? So taking a look at the daily, we can see that we have, let me move this up higher like so. There we go. Yeah. So taking a look at the daily, we can see that we're already losing momentum on the volatility mod, right? We had a strong impulse to the upside, and then we have lost that, and we're in contraction now on the daily. So, which is quite interesting, right? It's those few indecisive candles, that sideways consolidation for a couple of days that interrupted that nice expansion move to the upside. You can see it clearer on the 4-hour, but on the daily there's an interruption. And so on the daily we can see here, I'm going to expand this up a little bit here. On the daily you can see that this move higher has barely prevented the death cross from happening, right? So it's delaying the crossover. So if there's good news, the Fed comes out with some good news then this may break out and this may prevent that death cross from happening, which is quite interesting. And but that again remains to be seen. I think that there's more of a I think there's more of a chance that we're going to be coming down here, possibly making a higher low, and then trying to break out after that. So we are in reversal now on the RSI on the daily. We're at 57, very similar to the RSI on the 4-hour. The EMA trend is still bearish. You can see that we're still in this bear cloud, right? And we're actually above that 30, which is the top of the cloud. So we could come back and test that. The 30 is going to be the point that we need to hold, which is going to be right around the 26,500 level. That's on the daily now, which is similar to the 4-hour. I'd say the 4-hour is probably more accurate, right? But if we cannot get above the 200 on the daily, which is coming in at 27,000, if we can't get above that 27,000, if we can't break out here, then it's going to be it's just going to be a higher a lower high, and then we're just going to pull right back and retest that 25k level. Point of control here is in this volume node. We talked about this volume node before. This is the significant volume node. This has been in place ever since we had all of this price action in from April to June, right? So this is a significant area of resistance here. Okay, significant area. This is a very critical area. If we can't get above that 27,285 level, we cannot gain bullish control back. That's just the bottom line. Even though we did have a very close push towards the previous high right here, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just noise within the structure, and we could do something like this, right? So that is the critical level to watch, that 27,250, 27,300, that point of control. Whether we're going to get that back or not, I have my doubts. I think it's very possible that we could roll over here and maybe try to make a higher low, right? So there you have it. I don't want to make it too long. I just wanted to give a quick update as to what's going on. Structure, the entire structure here, as far as what we see, this downtrend, although this is a little bit of a deviation with power to the upside, it hasn't changed the structure at all. It hasn't changed the fact that we're still in this downtrend, although it's a vigorous area right here. We're seeing a lot of volatility. So, and that is what we expected. We said expect volatility, or I said expect volatility going into that FOMC meeting, right, which is 24 hours away. So there's going to be a lot of volatility, and it's going to be if you're a trader, it's going to be difficult to trade. Be very careful. And if you're not a trader, if you're an investor, then this really doesn't matter for you, right? You're looking towards the long term. Anyway, thanks, friends. I appreciate your viewership. Thanks for your time. Please give the video a like, and I hope this was helpful, and I hope that it helps you keep perspective. And again, remember, this is not investment advice. I'm just sharing my view, my analysis with you. Wish you the best, friends. Take care. We'll see you next time.